Ahoy ahoy crew. Let's go over watermarks in New World. First, what are they? Watermarks are the maximum gear score that you will find on gear that you drop and loot from chests. At level 60, all of your watermarks are set to 500. This means whenever you drop gear, the highest gear score it can have is 500. However, your watermarks can be increased all the way up to 600. To do this, you have to farm gear from high level areas, such as enemies level 60 and higher, elite chests, expeditions, outpost rush, and level 65 corruption portal boxes. Higher level enemies have higher chances at increasing your watermark, and have better chances at dropping high gear score items. Level 64 plus enemies can reliably drop gear scores up to 600, while level 61 averages around 530 gear score with a much lower chance at increasing your watermark above 530. A good note is that high level expedition bosses, such as in Genesis and Lazarus, are guaranteed to increase the watermark of one item when you defeat them. These can be a nice way to increase watermarks if you can obtain the tuning orbs to enter. Now, every time you drop a piece of gear, it will drop around your current watermark, but it does not always drop at whatever your watermark is. If we look at crafting, for example, it behaves like the gear score scale, dropping anywhere from 500 to whatever your watermark currently is. There is a low chance when you drop a piece of gear that your watermark will increase and the gear will drop with a slightly higher gear score than your current or old watermark. Now, there are a few notes about watermarks that you should know. First, only randomly dropped gear and gear from chests, including Corruption Portal and Outpost Rush rewards, will count towards increasing your watermark. Fixed name drops, crafted gear, quest rewards, and anything you buy, such as faction gear or anything on the market, do not count for your watermark. By fixed name drops, I'm talking about ill-gotten gains, for example. It always drops the exact same, and its gear score never changes. These types of items do not affect your watermark. Named items that drop with random gear scores do affect your watermark. I believe these named items mainly come from expeditions though. Second, each piece of gear has its own watermark. So swords, spears, bows, axes, etc. all will have different watermarks and they increase separately. Same goes for your armor and jewelry slots. The different armor types are all counted together though. For example, light, medium, and heavy headgears all share the same watermark. Each of the armors follows the same rule, including the shield. Third, you do not need to equip the gear for the watermark to count. If the gear drops above your current watermark, it will automatically be saved and your watermark increased. You do not even need to pick the item up. Lastly, and unfortunately, you have to manually track your watermarks, as there is no in-game indicator besides the gear itself. For example, I always have a notepad open with my watermarks listed, and before salvaging any junk, I always make sure to look over for any increases. Now, why may increasing your watermarks be so important? First is obviously higher gear scores are usually better gear, but watermarks also affect expedition drops. For example, there are some legendary drops in endgame expeditions, but these gears will only drop at epic rarity if their gear score is not high enough, meaning you need to have a high watermark in order to obtain some of the more powerful versions of expedition drops. That's all I've got on watermarks. Hopefully this was clear enough to help understand the watermark system. If you have questions, leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. And if the video helped, subscribe, share it with friends, and I'll see you in the next video.